there's nowhere that I'd rather be than simply holding on to you. 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 It's bizarre how literally, without a doubt, I will always have like a physical breakdown probably a few days before I get my period. Like I literally will start sobbing, and then I get my period and I feel this like immense sense of peace. I remember how unlike myself I felt for a majority of postpartum because I just didn't have my bleed, and it was the first time I realized how immensely connected women are to their bleed and how grateful I am that we get to have this rebirth every single month. That we get to have like a physical embodiment and allows us to go through a deeply spiritual practice of letting go, like a physical release, and we get to mentally connect to that and let go of the weights of what we've been carrying for maybe the past month, of maybe, you know, the experiences that we've had this past month. Like we get to truly go through a cleanse, like an inner cleanse. And I feel like emotionally, if we really allow ourselves to tap into that, it can be really beneficial. And I've been doing that a lot lately. I think especially as my period comes up, I'm always like, wow, okay, there's a number of things that I want to let go of this month, and like treating each month as a new opportunity for growth and ability to kind of step into a different version of myself, because every day is a new opportunity to learn a new part of yourself that you didn't know of before. And every day you get to decide to make adjustments to who you are. You are not tied to this being. I think sometimes we're so caught up in like, this is who I am and this is who I need to be. And we put ourselves in a box, and we have free will. Like, we literally get to be whoever the freak we want to be. So, like, switch it up if you feel like it. If something feels more authentic one day and the next day something else feels more authentic, then shift to that and allow yourself to just deeply feel what it is that you want to let go of and what it is you want to embody more, especially around your bleed. And it's bizarre how tied to the moon my period becomes, because no matter how much, like, shift happens throughout the month, whether I'm a little bit late, like especially as I'm breastfeeding a lot, I feel like my period can sometimes shift. It's shifted back to, my period comes every new moon and I'm ovulating around the full moon. And I think that that's really cool. Now I get to also go through the communal shift that happens with the new moon, an opportunity to let go and welcome in new abundances and new opportunities. Anyway, enough about period. I wanted to chat because I've been talking a lot about community, the lack thereof, how I'm feeling very disconnected from a lot, and how odd of an experience woman and motherhood is in the time that we're in, and how disconnected I feel from this like girl boss energy that I think we're told to embody, and that my belief on it doesn't stem from trying to do it all, and that I'm trying to re-regulate my nervous system from an upbringing that was told that that is what a powerful woman does, is manage it all. And I just don't believe and align with that concept anymore. Like, I don't think we're supposed to be it all. I think we're supposed to have community and individuals near us, and I crave so deeply this sisterhood that I have just not had in a while. And it made me do some really deep reflection, and since I'm on my bleed, I feel like I can share a little bit more around my struggles around friendship and why I think I have pulled myself away the last few years after a period where I felt really connected to women and felt really connected to a group of friends. And I speak specifically of women because I've just never been someone to have male friends. I am trying to get more comfortable with the idea that like men can also be a friend to me, but I've just never experienced that. I don't have a male group of friends that I identify with or that I connect with. I think I have a few here and there from like childhood, but I personally do not seek out male friendships, which I think in itself is a lot of just trauma related. Either way, Corey's like one of the first men that I feel like I've really been able to connect with and stick with, because I feel really seen as a woman by him. I've really struggled building friendships with men elsewhere because a lot of times I've honestly blown it off because I'm like, we have literally nothing in common, and I am really drawn to women and the love that I feel from women from a friendship perspective, especially like how deeply connected we can become and how open we are about how we're feeling and what we're experiencing and what we're going through. I've just never had the opportunity to do that with a guy outside of a romantic relationship, and even within a romantic relationship, I think oftentimes I've struggled to connect with them on that way because I just feel like a lot of men haven't been open. I'm trying to get more comfortable with the idea that men can have similar interests to me, and I think I'm no longer attending philosophy classes, but when I was, there were a few older men there that actually read a lot of the books that I had read, and I was shocked, and I'm like very open to admitting that. I think I was like, oh my gosh, wait, men are into this stuff too? I was like genuinely surprised, and it did help shift my perspective. Like, okay, like maybe there are men out there that have similar interests to me. I don't know, that thought is just scary, but that's a whole nother topic to talk about. I wanted to talk about basically my sisterhood and like my friendships with women, because I had an experience a few years ago, and I think it has scared me to be open with a lot of people, and I think it's one of the reasons why I've kept my friendship circle really small and why I haven't seeked out new friendships. But I think there's been a big piece of my heart that's felt like has been missing since that friendship has died. And I've really struggled, I feel like, with allowing myself to open up to that level with another woman again. I had a really close friendship that was so wonderful to me because I had gone through years of not having a close sisterhood. And I met somebody that I felt really deeply connected to, and we would spend hours on the phone with each other. We would do crafts together. We would write letters to our former selves and talk about different rituals that we can do to release past hurts. We would talk about art together. We would talk about astrology together. I would tell her my deepest, darkest secrets. We would have sleepovers. It felt like family. I have never, since I've been a teenager, where I feel like I have my last group of sisterhood where we really did everything together, I haven't had a friendship like that in a long time. Like I said, since teenagehood. So finding that again in my 20s was a wonderful thing. And yeah, people talk about breakups and how intensely they scar your heart. I truly don't think about my exes. This friendship broke me. I'm gonna be honest. That friend, I will miss that till the day I die. I am trying so hard to let go of the hurt from that, but it is truly one of the hardest breakups that I've gone through in terms of like just losing somebody outside of death, obviously, but I'm saying like I mourn that friendship really deeply, and I'm to this day I'm still confused as to why it ended. We just kind of lost touch, and I still hear from her here and there, but it's just gone. And I know that will likely never ever be a thing again, and I have come to terms with it, but it's so difficult. I think losing a friend to me has been more heartbreaking ever than any sort of partner, especially like just a female friendship that I felt so connected to, and a sisterhood that I felt so connected to, someone that I felt like I could be truly naked around. And I mean like from a soul perspective. And I don't get that often. I have my guard up, and I really struggle to be so open and so authentic with individuals. I did meet someone last year, and me and her don't live close by, but she's somebody that I feel like has allowed me to open my heart and my idea to, okay, there are other women out there that I can open up to and connect with, and I don't need to be so fearful of sisterhood anymore. Like, she's given me that thought that there is an opportunity out there, and I need to allow myself to connect with women that have similar interests to myself. And it also allowed me to shift my idea on being online, and I've been thinking about returning back to Instagram, because it's one of the places that I met Jamira was through YouTube and through Instagram and Threads. And we, to this day, will voice note each other, and I feel like I have such a strong love for this woman, and such a strong love for all of her insights and all of her mind. I think she's just absolutely amazing, and I would have never met someone like that if I wasn't online. And I'm not, like, there's been such a beauty of being offline, but I'm feeling this deep pull to, like, connect with people again. And I really want to form more of a sisterhood. And I think I say all that to say that this channel, if there are any women on here that feel lonely and that feel disconnected from just having a community, who are mothers or even who aren't mothers, who are just women that also love connecting with women, whether they have children or not, I would love to form some sort of community where we can really just connect with each other. I've been thinking about creating a Patreon where I can share more authentic videos around womanhood. I think purely to other women that feel interested and excited by that. Just so we can form a community and maybe have monthly or every few months they call and connect with each other and get to know each other, share books that we've been reading. I feel really eager to build something like that. So if you're interested, please comment down below, because I would love to connect with you guys. And I'm feeling really lonely. I'm feeling like I need to put myself out there, and I need to get more comfortable, and I need to be okay with the idea that heartbreak is gonna come, and there might be friendships that end, and that has nothing to do with who I am. It has nothing to do with who they are. We don't need to be in each other's lives forever. Even if it is only a short period, we can make it as monumental as possible, because tomorrow, like I said, is never promised, and I would just love to connect with women, even if it is for a short period or a long period or for a lifetime. That is my dream. I want to connect with more women, and I want to build more of a community, and one where we can really feel open to share everything. I mean, literally everything and anything, because I think that's what allows us to continue being confident and wonderful and creative and feel empowered, is when we have other women that we can lean on, that encourage us and that tell us, like, I'm going through the same thing, so we don't need to feel so alone on this journey, because that's how I'm feeling. Dishes pot in the sink. Empty pockets. Finally finished my pen pal letter that I'm sending to my friend over in the UK. So I have a few different letters in here. I drew jellyfish because I've really been obsessed with drawing jellyfish and bugs lately, like just little like creatures. Anyway, in my little letter, I could put all of the updates on Yara on the back there. I added 2 little Polaroids of Yara. Obviously my little crochet keychain. And then I also really love fun, funky clips. So I found this one. It's literally buttons. Isn't that so cute? So I'm sending her those, and then these as well, these two little like good luck charm ladybugs. So I'm really psyched. I need to ship this off today.
Leaving hot, I can't look back. I fly to new places to keep my head right, miscommunicate. I lost my patience, constant thoughts consumed by words. I tried to keep up with you, can't cry. Always reinstate that I lost
In my
patience.
first video of this year, I talked about this impending doom feeling, this pressure to be someone in my 20s, and as I'm approaching my 30th birthday, starting to realize how much I'm pressurizing myself into thinking that I've lost my prime, because I feel like that is what society tells us, that we're no longer attractive or no longer able to pursue our personal talents with a sense of freedom like we did before if we're in our 30s. And so I think another piece that has been really encouraging for me personally is finding myself following content creators, especially on YouTube, that I watch that are like significantly older than I, and that are pursuing a life that they've always desired with such a sense of fulfillment and joy. Following creators that are in their 60s and their 70s, that are doing art and that are living this lifestyle that I desire to have, that has given me an opportunity to revisit how I feel about aging, because it's something that I've always been so terrified of. Like, I literally cried on my 13th birthday because I didn't want to be a teenager. I wanted to still be a kid. A lot of it was obviously trauma and feeling the need to have to grow up a lot sooner than I probably wanted to. But like, it's stayed with me as I'd aged, and obviously everything in all of our societies tailored around keeping women young and like frou-frou and their skin plump, and we're so scared of aging and physical features of aging. Society has enforced women and encouraged women to believe that only beautiful if they look 23. And we're so afraid of like our lines on our faces, of gray hairs emerging, of our eyes maybe sinking deeper into the sockets that they literally protrude from. We're scared because it is like proof that we are older. And I had a mother too who like didn't like aging, who never spoke confidently about her skin, who continuously would refer to other like beautiful families as like, wow, imagine being that beautiful of a family, which kind of like took away from my belief that we as a family or we as a unit were beautiful. And so I've just always had a really tricky relationship with the idea of aging. And so it's been really nice to watch women age and be so grateful for their age. And I say all that to say that recently I've been shown that life isn't permanent. I've been feeling that deeply, not only through multiple losses, unfortunately, in my life, but also through like hearing of major illnesses that some individuals that I'm very close with have experienced. And it's been really tough, honestly, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I could go at any second. And I think that it has made me reprogram my belief on aging and actually how wonderful it freaking is. Like, aging is a luxury that not many of us get to experience. Like, it is a rarity. We don't get to experience aging often. Like, lots of people don't even get the experience to live until they're 20, let alone 30. Like, we should be grateful that these wrinkles on our face are real demonstrations of the fact that we've been gifted with life. What a wonderful experience that we get to have to age. I think watching older women be so unapologetically themselves has made me realize there is such beauty in growing old, such an experience and a rarity that comes with it that I'm just endlessly learning to be grateful for. It's made me excited. Like, I'm excited to keep learning myself and reach a position in my life where I'm so proud of every single thing that I'm doing. And I think age is the only way to truly do that, because the longer we are alive, the more we learn about ourselves. And this is just the gift of life. And we should lean into that and not constantly try and chase this idea of time and how we are becoming less of a version of ourselves because of a wrinkle on our face. If anything, we're becoming more ourselves. I don't know if this makes sense, but yeah. Just also learning to speak more positively about myself in the mirror and to who I am, because my daughter is a direct reflection of me, and I don't want her to ever think that she isn't beautiful because I didn't find myself beautiful. And that I want her to have a different approach on aging because I enjoyed aging and I enjoyed growing old. I want her to see how a body transforms naturally and that that is okay, and that she doesn't feel the need to force herself into a 20 skincare step regimen just to refine and maintain the youthfulness and buoyancy of her skin. Like, there's so many other things that we can be focused on. And I think as long as we are keeping a healthy mind and a healthy soul, then that's what's most important, and that's what will keep our joy youthful. And that's really what we all want. You know, you can have the most perfect skin and still be so sad. So who cares? You know? Oh, wow. Spring is almost here. Spring is almost here. Look how wonderful. Isn't the sky beautiful? It's like cotton candy. Eat it. You want to eat the sky? Okay. Yummy. You did it, baby. Oh yeah, sky is beautiful. The sky is beautiful. That's right. Yesterday I was talking about the fact that I have been engaging with content and watching content of older content creators, and that I found a lot of fulfillment and joy from that. I was feeling like I was running out of time and running out of the ability to still be something, because I was soon going to be entering my 30s. And I saw a lot of individuals similar to my age or even younger than me that I would follow and feel really drawn to, just around all the things that they were achieving in their life and doing. And I felt a level of envy from it, in the sense of, like, where am I? Like, I'd play this comparison game of like, oh my gosh, they are like 2-3 years younger than me, and look at all the things that they've achieved. I haven't had a chance to do any of that yet. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And so that, I think, has also encouraged me to seek out and actively watch content creators, mainly that are older than me as well, because I think everyone's your teacher. You can learn from everybody, so whether they're younger or your age. I wasn't engaging enough with individuals older than me, which was tainting my perspective on the fact that I still have so much time and that I've barely lived, really. That 30 is still such a young age, but society has made us believe that it isn't. And so I still watch a lot of the creators that I'm passionate about. I think that they're really cool and I love their energy, but I also am focusing on part of my time spending time watching older creators too, because I didn't grow up with that appreciation, with that love for age. I think I saw something on TikTok a while back, and they were commenting about the naked mom and how individuals were like, I can't believe you guys didn't grow up with one. And I was one that didn't. I never ever saw really the bodies of my mother ever, or what it looked like. And it was actually, if anything, nudity was like shunned and something that I shouldn't be experiencing, which is bizarre because I'm with a partner who experienced all those elements with his family and is constantly able to
be exposed, quote unquote, without it being sexualized. Whereas for me, it was like at the dinner table, you cover this, you cover that, your brother and dad are present, which is one bizarre because it's just the sexualization of it, which we are within family, so that's weird. But I found it quite wonderful when I heard individuals' story and beliefs behind it, even with my partner who like expresses like he got to watch his mother and his sister and he'll have a level of comfortability with that. And it's allowed him to understand what a natural woman's body looks like as it ages, as it grows, and what it looks like outside of social media or adult content, whatever it may be, where I think that it's a false representation of a regular woman's body. And so I think it's been really cool to explore this world and healing, I think, for myself too, getting to, we have a very small apartment. Yaris been here all the time. We shower together, we bathe together, and it's so normalized and it's not sexualized. And she gets to embrace and incur and see what a aging woman's body look like from her mom's lens, through her mom's lens, a person that she loves so deeply. And I hope that it really provides her peace in her own body as she ages and as she grows and as her body changes with childbirth and everything of that, because I'm expressing a comfortability that I have with mine. The other thing I really wanted to talk about, honestly, right now is I've been reading this book, When God Was a Woman, finally getting to it. I know I spoke about this back in January, and Corey was reading it, and I was reading a few other books. I've since finished those books, and I was like, okay, I really want to read this book. It's like a quite intense read, personally, more so from a fact of like it's a lot of historical context. I'm about a third away in, almost halfway in now. And a lot of it is just providing historical context to how society used to praise goddesses and how we worshipped goddesses, especially prior to the European invasion and colonialism that happened in a lot of nations. And how with that usually came the introduction of God and him and he. And a lot of societies and rural societies in Greek mythology always worshipped a god. And there's a lot of representation of the fact that there were goddesses and that women were in power to a degree where like the male wasn't even recognized in its involvement in childbirth or fatherhood, that like they didn't even recognize the role that they played, and it was purely that women were life-giving, and that in itself made them incredibly powerful, that they ruled and governed over the household, that things and names were passed down to the daughters. And I think there's a lot of power just in womanhood and beauty that stems from that. And with colonialization and with the taking over, what I find interesting of it is, one, a lot of written scriptures that are recognized aren't until the invasion on Western societies, which I think is unique because, one, in itself, it just proves that history can rewrite itself and does rewrite itself, and that there is a whitewashing of history that continues to happen. I find it very hard to believe that we only find physical representations and physical proof of written concepts post invasions into these societies. I find it hard to believe that they introduced the concept of written language and that it wasn't a thing prior to that. That is just bogus to me. I think a lot of it was eradicated on purpose because they wanted to instill a new way of being onto these societies. So I think the book is really fascinating because it's just deep my belief in like how much colonialism has had a negative impact on women, on their self-esteem, on their power and who they are, especially as they transition through the world of motherhood. Like, it's not seen as magnificent as it truly is. None of you guys would be here if it weren't for women birthing these children. What a wonderful, beautiful gift that we've been given. It is a deeply spiritual practice in which we are giving life. We are a vessel of life initially, and then we birth that said life into this world. And it is a transition that I think should be held and nurtured a lot more, and we're not supported enough. It's because I think it's just so normalized. And yes, is it normal, quote unquote? Absolutely. But it is something that is deeply, deeply miraculous. If you think about it, like, it is absolutely insane that we have the capacity to create a brain and a human life form in our bellies. And I think we need to acknowledge that a little bit more. It also just made me realize how much it has siloed out mothers and women specifically throughout this journey, whether that be motherhood or adult femalehood. I heard of Intimacy last year, and it was a book that deeply, it made me a little bit sad because it spoke of African tribes, and specifically she speaks of her tribe, from where she came from and her heritage, and how deeply they are connected to their elders and to those around them, how society really encourages mothers to birth together and how they mother together and nurse each other's babies, and how they lessen the load of each other, and how normalized that practice is. How when a woman or a man loses their partner, how the entire community mourns that experience and supports individuals through that transition, how they continuously bring each other into spiritual practices, and how they go down to the lake and they communicate to each other around the difficulties that they're experiencing, and how they listen to each other and love each other, and how everything is centered around growth and partnership and community. And I could go on, and I think it made me deeply saddened to how, especially through colonialism, has encouraged us to be alone. It is encouraged because we want individuals to pay money to go to services to feel that sense of community, instead of being able to foster it through their direct loved ones. Like, that's just less encouraged. Or even to our ancestors and spiritually. I mean, even in therapy, they're starting to not recognize individual spiritual faith as much. And I've seen a rise of that, right, where they're saying, like, no, there's no place for that here. It's we only focus on science and the inputs of what is factually true, and that us being connecting or connected to our ancestors or feeling connected in any sense of form is not reality, and that it is a made-up belief. And yeah, it's just very bizarre. It's very bizarre. Purposely, I think, thinking about my move and my transition into a different part of the world to encourage and foster a community for my daughter, particularly because I don't want her to feel as alone throughout this journey as I have. I don't want her to feel as disconnected from womanhood as I have, growing up and having to find her own way through it. I mean, every woman will, and she will have to figure out what it means to her. Obviously, I can't control all those things, but I know for certain that if she does choose to have children, that I will be her community no matter what. I will move where she needs to go. I will take care of her child while she gets to take care of herself, and I will cook for her and clean for her, and I will make sure that we have that community around her, because I think it's just so important, and it is a lost thing. And it's something that I'm beginning to prioritize now in my life, you know? And I want to build more of a community of mothers and women so that we can feel connected, so that we can feel open and honest about what we're experiencing, so that we can see each other's bodies and not feel pressured, you know? I remember this first time. It's actually such a funny story, but it just proves again, like, how not openly it is talked about. I think as a younger kid, there was always a running joke in school, like, if your nipples were like of a certain size, it was like baloney nipple or whatever it may be. And I remember during COVID, I went over to my friend's house, and we were talking about the size of our nipples. And we were like, I was like, oh, I have like quite one. And she's like, oh my gosh, me too. And then we like, and our other friend was like, me as well. We like all showed them, and we were like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that other women like this existed, because movies and everything, they're always shown as like these perfectly small areolas. I can't believe I'm talking about this out in public, but literally that's why this is so important, and why I want Yara to grow up seeing me and seeing my body and seeing how it has transformed through breastfeeding, through birth, whatever it may be, and that is okay and normal, because I'm getting the gift of living and growing old, and that is a wonderful thing. And my body's a representation of that, of everything that I've accomplished and everything that I've grown to learn about myself. So anyway, that's my thoughts.
City lights, dreamless nights, all because I wake up missing you. Pretty eyes, no frowns or cries, lifeless times I'm mourning losing you. But I won't keep trying. I'm seeking past eyes through. Got a picture of your face in me, aging, growing fine. I'll be without you. Oh, without you.
Unveil the hidden truths in me. Nothing left to hide, I'll see it through. Wishing on a star at night, bringing back the past to be close to you.
But I won't keep trying, pretending that the more I think I'm close to you, the more I'm seeking past eyes through.